demonstrating the required and requested scopes for the Anaplan connector for Sheets trademarked. So first I'll be demonstrating the OAuth consent screen and showing you which scopes are requested by this script. Pause for a moment to show you that this is in English. Now going through the scopes, the first is the Drive scope. See, edit, create, and delete only the specific Google Drive files you use with this app. Then we have the view and manage spreadsheets that this application has been installed in, which is the current only scope. And then the purpose of this video is the see, edit, create, and delete all your Google Sheets spreadsheets, which is the sensitive spreadsheets scope, and then connect to an external service. Send email as you, allow this application to run when you are not present, and lastly, display and run third-party web content in prompts and sidebars inside Google applications. Click continue. From here, I'll then demonstrate how the application actually uses the required scope spreadsheets. So the core functionality is the data right. So we can demonstrate this by opening up the pivot and selecting a view. So I'll go units final and then click configure pivot. This will open up the pivot HTML dialog. It's first making external API calls to fetch the metadata from Anaplan, and then I can use this in a similar fashion to a pivot table in Google Sheets. For this demonstration, I'll leave all the dimensions and filters in their default orientation. Click execute pivot. You're then shown a live status bar, so it's initializing pivot, selecting pivot method. And now this video is then going to demonstrate this by showing visual proof that the spreadsheet is populating with thousands of cells of financial data. Again, this is the technical justification. This operation uses the sheets.spreadsheets.values.batch update endpoint REST API as documented in our previous emails. This endpoint requires https www.googleapis.com auth spreadsheets because the current only scope causes this specific API to throw a 403 error, and the standard spreadsheet app calls timeout with this data volume. Again, this demonstration is only 106 rows by a few columns, so this by itself would not cause a timeout, but the entire purpose of this is that you can add many different views. So I'll demonstrate this by adding a second view and exporting that data. That data is now exported. Again, you can see I've written that P&L statement. And then lastly, I'm going to demonstrate the schedule feature. So the user creates a scheduled task. So this is going to be a time-based trigger. To do this in the UI, I will open up the schedule UI and click add schedule. There's different types of schedules for this demonstration. I'll use the all configured sheets. I'll give it a name called test. I'll choose the frequency of hourly and then save schedule. So this feature runs headless server side at a later time, basically every single hour. Since no user is present to interact with the UI during the execution, drive.file or Google Picker is technically impossible to use. The spreadsheet scope is required to allow the background script to access the configured file offline. So this video demonstrates that the spreadsheet scope is functionally active and essential for both the volume of the writes and the automation of the background triggers. Thank you.